Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Lindsay Allen.
And I'm David Scott. The investigation into the sex abuse scandal involving LMPD's Explorer program now includes a top officer from another local department.
WDRB's Stefan Johnson tells us how the assistant chief of the Prospect Police Department is now connected to the case. Stefan?
Well, the assistant police chief was suspended earlier this month, but no one has told us why. And now we have learned that he's also being investigated for allegedly providing information to an LMPD officer at the center of that Explorer sex abuse scandal. Prospect Assistant Police Chief Todd Shaw has been in law enforcement for nearly 30 years.
It's certainly upsetting. I mean, he's had an excellent track record.
Nick Mudd is Shaw's attorney and says the assistant chief has too much to lose and would not jeopardize his career.
And we certainly maintain his innocence in any sort of criminal wrongdoing with this whatsoever.
Right now, Assistant Chief Shaw is being investigated in connection with the ongoing sex abuse probe of LMPD's Explorer program. Sources close to the investigation tell us it centers around whether Shaw provided illegal assistance to an LMPD officer, and Mudd has confirmed the Jefferson County Attorney's Office is looking into the case.
They're reviewing it for misdemeanor charges. If it were felony charges, it would go to the Commonwealth Attorney's Office to review.
Kenneth Betts is one of the LMPD officers accused of sexually abusing male and female teens in the Explorer program. A source tells WDRB as undercover officers prepare to serve a search warrant on Betts, he allegedly asked Shaw to run the license plates of the officers.
That's just not accurate. I mean, we all knew there was an investigation.
Attorney Brian Butler represents Betts. He's limited in what he can talk about, but says there would be absolutely no reason for his client to request information about undercover officers.
I mean, he was a police officer. He knows that the police are investigated by the Public Integrity Unit.
Meanwhile, Assistant Chief Shaw is accused of ordering a Prospect police officer to run the plates anyway, and improper use of the National Crime Information Center database is illegal, and that's why there could be charges.
If they don't decide to charge him, they've informed me they will let me know, let my client know.
And right now, neither Prospect's mayor nor police chief will comment on camera, but the chief did confirm his assistant has been suspended pending the outcome of this internal investigation. He also would not confirm if it is connected to the Explorer program. Of course, we'll continue to follow this and keep you posted. Live in the newsroom, I'm Stefan Johnson, WDRB News.
Racist police chief caught teaching police candidates to kill black people. An assistant police chief who was being investigated for ties to pedophilia resigned after private Facebook messages were made public that outed him as a racist. By Jack Burns, January 21, 2018. Prospect, Kentucky. The assistant police chief in Prospect, Kentucky, who was already under investigation for ties to pedophilia, is now without a job after it was revealed that he was sending racist, violent, and sexual private messages to police recruits on Facebook. Todd Shaw was a bit of a character, according to Prospect Mayor John Evans, who appeared visibly upset that his town's reputation has been hurt by Shaw's alleged actions. The private Facebook messages came to light during a criminal investigation alleging Shaw aided LMPD officer Kenneth Betts, who was being investigated for allegedly raping a teenage boy enrolled in the Louisville Metro Police Department's Explorer program. Advertisement. As the Free Thought Project reported in October, Betts and Brandon Wood were accused of running a pedophilia network within the department, using their badges to cover up the fact that they were abusing children. Shaw worked for LMPD for 20 years before retiring and becoming the assistant police chief in Prospect. Betts reportedly asked Shaw to access the National Crime Information Center database, or NCIC, to run the license plates of undercover officers who were investigating him. That action is considered criminal in the state, and Shaw reportedly performed the favor for Betts, who was no longer a police officer at the time. It is unclear whether or not Shaw is also involved in any way with the alleged sexual abuse of teenagers within the LMPD Explorer program. But because he was accused of the crime, an investigation into Shaw's conduct commenced. Jefferson County Attorney Mike O'Connell then uncovered the private Facebook messages and later drafted a letter to Evans detailing the disturbing messages he discovered. He described the messages. In one exchange with the LMPD recruit, when asked what the recruit should do if he found teenagers smoking marijuana, Shaw reportedly responded, "Fuck the right thing. If black, shoot them." When asked how to handle juveniles' parents, Shaw responded, "Call the parents. If mom is hot, then fuck her. If the dad is hot, handcuff him, then make him suck my dick. Unless daddy is black, then shoot him." O'Connell then instructed the mayor to take disciplinary action against the acting chief of police and promised to determine whether or not any pending cases with which Shaw was involved could be prosecuted or would have to be dismissed. The Facebook messages were filled with references to blacks as NRs, to women who date black men as single moms, and they often claimed that black children did not have fathers and that Martin Luther King Jr. was a racist womanizer whose only purpose was to provide police officers with a day off. Shaw and his lawyers attempted to keep the private Facebook messages from becoming public, but Judge Judith McDonald Berkman ruled this week that the records must be released. Prosecutors are now in the process of dismissing the nearly 24 cases where Shaw would potentially have been called as a witness. He was suspended in September and resigned in November 2017 upon the conclusion of the internal investigation. Taken in its entirety, given Shaw's involvement in helping Betts identify his investigators, his messages to a potential LMPD recruit who was later dismissed, and his subsequent resignation, the career police officer has now been outed as a racist, a pedophile sympathizer, and most likely a criminal. Fortunately, the LMPD and the city of Prospect were able to take corrective action to ensure more citizens do not end up in the prison industrial complex by the unscrupulous actions and beliefs of a bigot. WDRB 41 Louisville News.
There are dozens of commendation letters in former LMPD officer Kevin Betts' file, everything from praise for assisting with arrests to his involvement with the Louisville Metro Police Department's Explorer program. Betts was indicted on Wednesday. He's facing 2 counts of sodomy with 2 different victims during 2 different times. The first allegations of abuse happening in 2007. The second allegations happening 5 years later in the summer of 2012.
We were made aware the day before that an indictment was going to be presented to the grand jury, so we anticipated, the fact that they were presenting an indictment to the grand jury, that he would be indicted.
In court on Wednesday, the Commonwealth said Betts used his position of power as an officer involved with the LMPD Youth Explorer program to take advantage of victims. According to documents in his personnel file, Betts was nominated for the department's Exceptional Merit Award 2 years in a row for his work with the Explorer program. The Explorer program gives teens interested in law enforcement the opportunity to work with police. Before joining the LMPD, documents show Betts had been an explorer. He resigned from the police department in 2014 in the midst of an internal investigation into allegations that he had inappropriate contact with a female explorer. His lawyer says he'll be arraigned on Monday.
With a felony charge, and these are felony charges, anyone charged with a felony is required to appear at every court appearance.
Former officer Brandon Wood has several letters of praise in his file. Documents also show he was suspended 3 times for violating police policy, including a violation of the department's use of deadly force policy. A professional standards investigation says Woods shot at the back of a stolen vehicle that was driving away from him. He served a 9-day suspension. Wood was indicted on Wednesday for 7 counts of sexual abuse involving a minor over a 5-month period between 2011 and 2012. The abuse allegedly occurred while Wood was involved with the police department's Explorer program. Chief Steve Conrad began the process of firing Brandon Wood yesterday. He was fired effective immediately today. Emily Maha, WLKY News.
County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, if I got, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.